Through the trials and tribulations of the 2010s, we can always count on the finest of games to carry us forward.
Which is what this list is. Welcome to WatchMojo. I'm Dave.
I'm Ricky.
And this is the top 20 video games of the decade.
The decade, baby. It's the big one.
Come on, car isn't gonna move itself.
Sheesh. I thought the car was supposed to move us.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Can it?
For this list, we're highlighting titles that to us stood out as incredible creative works amid a vast ocean of titles all vying for attention.
Make no mistake though, this was an incredibly tough list to put together. We had to set some very crazy guidelines, including one game per franchise, and we're focusing more on quality rather than popularity, so...
Sorry, Fortnite.
Alright, onto the list. Let's do this. Number 20, Overwatch. Leave it to Blizzard to take the well-worn conventions of hero shooters and reinvigorate them with their stylish knack of sly world building and slick combat systems. As Blizzard's first new intellectual property in nearly 2 decades, Overwatch had more to prove right out of the gate. Fortunately, the game caught players by storm with its varied and charismatic cast of characters, bolstered by an art style akin to the filmography of studios like Pixar. It also doesn't hurt that the game's focus on cooperative modes and using character abilities to assist teammates helped it stand out amid the crowded multiplayer shooter market.
Number 19, Bloodborne. While Dark Souls and Sekiro illustrate quite handily the care and passion that From Software invest in their work, it's their take on Victorian-era cosmic horror that stands tallest of all their Soulsborne entries. Bloodborne certainly differentiates itself in its approach to combat, emphasizing quick movement and perpetual offense, while stripping away the Souls title's defensive options. However, this design decision makes for a compellingly tense experience that never ceases to test the player's focus and reflexes. Combined with the game's delightfully twisted lore, plague-riddled cityscape, and exquisitely grotesque monster designs, it proves adept at unnerving and challenging in equal measure.
Number 18, Undertale. Conceived as a mixture of role-playing design cues from works such as Megami Tensei games and Earthbound, this indie RPG blossomed into a subversive and endearing work all on its own. Its central cast of monsters charmed players thanks to its humorous dialogue and delightful sprite art, making it easier to embrace the gameplay emphasis on befriending rather than slaying foes, unless you went for the genocide run. Its world and script drew upon an impressive, eclectic mix of influences: older video games, internet meme culture, even television programs of varying age. Yet through the deft direction of creator Toby Fox, every aspect of Undertale comes together into a beautiful, bizarre whole.
Number 17, Super Mario Galaxy 2. Though there is a lot to be said about Super Mario Odyssey, we felt its earlier Wii-based predecessor fit here a great deal better. Super Mario Galaxy 2 relies on elements of the first Galaxy game while reworking them into a magnificent blend of Mario iconography new and old. The range of worlds to explore remains as vivid and aesthetic as they are plentiful, matched by a difficulty curve benefiting this franchise. Series staples like Yoshi as a rideable mount and an overworld map pair nicely with the more recent additions such as the universe-traversing Starship Mario and the Luma species. Truly, this is a game worth tipping your red monogrammed cap to.
Oh, yeah.
Number 16, Celeste. There's an underappreciated art to taking a time-honored setup of adventure and turning it into a springboard of intimate and emotionally wrought storytelling. Few games hammer this home like Celeste, a side-scrolling puzzle platformer centered on a journey of a young woman to the peak of a rather strange mountain. Each and every facet of its design, from the incredibly well-designed levels to the game's energetic score, all of it perfectly ties into Madeline's own mental health struggles to become one of the most beautiful metaphors in gaming history. Celeste doesn't lack for compulsively replayable gameplay either, keeping things interesting with hard-to-reach collectibles and increasingly deadly obstacles. I still haven't beaten the DLC, it's that hard.
Number 15, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Everyone is here indeed. Just the promise that Ultimate sought to deliver, bringing back every Smash Bros. Fighter for this one game, plus some new competitors, was a grand enough undertaking in itself. We're still astounded, however, that the full game showed itself to be a loving tribute not only to Nintendo canon, but to much of classic video game history in general. Be it as a playable character or as one of the hundreds of collectible spirits, a vast range of gaming icons get their time in the limelight. From the elaborate take on adventure mode to the more intricate tweaks made for the fighting mechanics, Ultimate displays a clear balance between creative ambition and production focus.
Number 14, Nier Automata. Those familiar with the cult classic game Nier and its ties to the Drakengard series probably didn't expect the breakout success of this sequel from Platinum Games. Nevertheless, Nier Automata did indeed find its audience and earned a place as one of the best games of this decade. Obviously, it isn't difficult to discern why, with writer-director Yoko Taro's melancholy expression of numerous themes, paired with Platinum Games' slick hack-and-slash combat that they had previously perfected with the Bayonetta series. And that's not even getting into the unconventional narrative full of twists and turns that mark Automata as positively beyond the medium's norms.
Talk about bringing the battle to them. To be.
Number 13, Red Dead Redemption 2.
You okay?
Sure. He only punched me. Arthur punched him a lot harder.
The alleged cruelties behind its construction notwithstanding, Red Dead Redemption 2 handily serves to underline how important the entirety of a development team is to a game's production. Set before the events of the first Red Dead Redemption, this sequel relies on drastically improved graphical detail to further convey developer Rockstar's dedication to simulating the American frontier. It takes some of the previous game's strongest pillars, namely compelling character dynamics and a strong sense of place, and polishes them to great effect. Players found it all too easy to get caught up in many aspects, ranging from numerous side quests to the central plot concerning Arthur Morgan's own existential struggles.
I'm worried my path is coming to an end, Mr. Swanson.
Number 12, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain.
Target confirmed dead. Now move on to the other two.
As the coda for an industry legend's time with their most iconic creation, it's a hell of a way to close the book. Troubled in its development, and coming on the heels of Hideo Kojima's departure from Konami, Metal Gear Solid 5 was put quite into the unenviable position. Fortunately then, that the game proved exponential in its delivery of sandbox shenanigans and intricate base building systems. Venturing across the game's world continuously delivered on the chances to sneak into enemy installations and cause havoc, bolstered by great details in nearly all facets of the world. The slickness of Venom Snake's CQC maneuvers, the myriad options of mission-to-mission inventory selection, its action game design at some of its finest.
Number 11, Persona 5.
Oh, you a transfer student? Then no wonder you don't know him.
Almost a full decade after the last major Persona game, Atlus came out swinging for the fences like nobody's business. Persona 5 invokes the typical beats expected of a Persona game, like their penchant for colorful characters and supernatural phenomena as metaphor, but imbues them with new purpose. Here, it's the conflict between well-meaning vigilantes and an uncaring social order that serves as the foundation, layered with loving nods to Renaissance-era crime fiction and modern Japanese culture. The series' approach to dungeons and animation also received loving attention, better tying into specific themes and characters' perspectives on reality than ever before.
Number 10, Batman Arkham City.
You're not welcome in my court, Batman. Damn it!
Having already proved that they can handle the exploits of the world's greatest detective, Arkham Asylum developer Rocksteady Studios undertook efforts to expand and enhance their world with the sequel. Thus, the world would be gifted Arkham City, a darkly entertaining celebration of Batman's mythos that also manages to work well as an open-world action-adventure title. The story threads, primary and tangential, integral with their attention paid to character philosophy and tense dramatic flourishes. The secrets and side quests never fail to surprise, and their affection for the source material and their willingness to defy expectations, not to mention the tweaked fighting and traversal systems, serve to remind players of how truly gratifying it is to say, "I'm Batman."
Won't you die?
Number 9. God of War. Shifting an established franchise tone is a tricky business, even when the same team that worked on the original is shouldering the responsibility for this new work. They live or die largely on how well they navigate the fine line between honoring the past and charting a new path forward. We're frankly astounded, though no less impressed, that Sony Santa Monica Studios successfully walked that line in their creation of 2018's God of War. It goes intimate and more limited in focus where the previous games were bombastic and defined by excess, yet still the vibrant action and thoughtful exploration of mythology endure. Strong performances from the cast and a unique one-shot camera gimmick further reinforce how truly special this proved to be.
If I lost it, then...
You did lose it.
Number 8. Portal 2, a game so good I themed my own wedding behind it.
And no one's going to ask, don't worry, but if anyone asks, tell them as far as you know, the last time you checked, everyone looked pretty much alive. Alright, not dead.
It's work such as this that remind us why Valve got to be the market juggernaut they are today. Portal 2 follows on from the first, but goes far further with its humor and delving into the depths of aperture science, very much to its benefit. Its narrative pulls twist after twist and keeps players guessing as to how the conflict between the homicidal intelligence GLaDOS and the silent heroine Chell will be resolved. The puzzles grow exceptionally more intricate and challenging in tandem with the absurd yet fitting poignant revelations about Aperture's past. And of course, we always appreciate a cooperative campaign that matches its single-player counterpart in terms of wit and intuitive design.
For quite a lot longer, and it's not out of the question that you might have a very minor case of serious brain damage.
Number 7. Minecraft. Even the simplest of premises can be elevated to true greatness with thoughtful design and solid audio-visual flourishes. Case in point, Mojang's 2011 sandbox survival game took the straightforward ideas of accumulating resources and constructing as befits one's whims and leaned into accessibility above all. Its deliberately pixelated art style evokes early 3D graphical design while still conveying the overwhelming size of the world, pleasantly balancing charm and technical proficiency. Minecraft also prevails thanks to a frankly robust range of items, features, and options to modify the game world, and it's only gotten better over the years thanks to a steady stream of content updates. You really can build upon perfection.
Number 6. Mass Effect 2. Middle installments in trilogies being what they are, they often end up saddled with the task of fleshing out a universe and its people in time for the big finale. So it's a real testament to how sleekly produced and confidently executed Mass Effect 2 was that it stands out as perhaps the best in its own trilogy. BioWare wisely leaned into their tendency to present unto players a multitude of different companions, having the otherwise loose plot structure pivot on a Seven Samurai-esque gathering of followers for one large excursion. This fits nicely with the parallel approaching of rendering many missions as mostly freewheeling side content, which benefits from refinements to the series' third-person shooter mechanics.
This heavy armor to weaken it. It's gonna blow!
Number 5. Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online. Whatever aspect of the complete package caught your eye, there's a good chance it proved fulfilling from start to finish. Launching with only its campaign accessible, Grand Theft Auto 5 still managed the remarkable feat of drawing a crowd with forward-looking performance capture technology and expansive sandbox setting. The shift to a constant rotation between 3 protagonists as its story progressed remains a clever means of keeping the audience on their toes. Meanwhile, the later launching GTA Online mode took the anarchic criminal misbehavior of games past to new heights, offering folks all manner of deadly missions and tools for making their mark on Los Santos.
Number 4, The Last of Us.
Yes, sir. Somebody, we've just been through hell. Okay, we just need...
Watching how Studio Naughty Dog has come into their own as a purveyor of cinema-inspired pulp action titles has been nothing short of spectacular. Better still has been observing how well they transitioned into melancholic post-apocalyptic storytelling with The Last of Us. Characters performing with care and emoting with subtlety, plot pacing that keeps its audience perpetually on edge, gorgeous cinematography, this one is packed with masterful touches. Of course, it's also a brutally tense stealth horror game, where resource scarcity and enemy threats are handled with care. Few come close to the level of quality quite like Naughty Dog.
Ellie.
Her name was Riley, and she was the first to die. And then it was Tess. And then Sam.
Number 3, The Elder Scrolls V: Skyrim.
But the deepest, keenest hatred was the attacks he makes on himself can be seen here fully.
Whether or not one views it as Bethesda's magnum opus, there's no denying the wider impact and craft of The Elder Scrolls V. What begins as a lone prisoner's escape from captivity upon the arrival of a powerful dragon soon branches out into a vast wilderness of opportunities and challenges. Caves and crypts to plunder, spells to master and experiment with, various factions to join and aid, the sheer breadth of content on offer is astounding. The game's appeal goes beyond just gameplay variety though. Its setting, the eponymous frozen province, invites exploration of its depths and appreciation of its scale at every turn. To say it more than earns the label of epic fantasy would be an understatement.
Number 2, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Nintendo's return to form this past decade was perhaps best illustrated by the arrival of this installment in the Legend of Zelda series, serving to pass the proverbial torch from one console to the next. Breath of the Wild stormed onto the scene, reimagining the franchise formula, eschewing typical dungeon design in favor of a mind-boggling expansive open-world adventure. Link must once again set out to aid folks in their need to save the realm of Hyrule, but this time it's undertaken as freeform objectives carried out at one's leisure. Climbing up sheer rock faces and tackling the game's many activities is made all the more memorable with an inspiring sound design and a beautiful watercolor scheme to make Hyrule look like a true work of art.
See that mountain? That's Mount Lanayru.
Wow, so you've made it this far, and you guys are about to see the number 1 game of the decade. Dave, what do you have to say so far?
This was painful. Like, Breath of the Wild was my personal number 1. That's how good that game was.
I just finished Master Mode. I'm right there with you. But I think you'll find that the number 1 entry is a very, very solid one. And even though we couldn't put all the games we wanted to on this list, we have a bunch of honorable mentions for those that sadly didn't make the cut.
But they're still worth checking out. Take a look.
Super worth it. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, The Witcher 3: Wild Hunt.
What did you do with the child? What was I to do?
Once in a while, those interested in an artistic medium are fortunate enough to witness a major step forward as it's occurring, rather than piecing together the significance after the fact. The Witcher 3 may well be one such major step, a triumph of development direction and carefully considered scale that delivers on numerous wondrous role-playing moments. Stoic anti-hero Geralt, with all his dry quips and stern glares, proves admirably well-suited to unraveling the murky political dimensions of the continent. No area lacks for lush environmental design, no quest proves entirely without merit or compelling complications. It's a thing of beauty, truly.
Meantime, Vernon, Willing to help, or do I need to keep looking?
As always, you've more luck than you deserve.
So there you have it, the best games of the past 10 years, and coming in at number 1 is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. How do you feel, Dave?
Wow, that was not easy, but The Witcher 3 is a great game. I remember when we were ranking top 10 games of 2015, it took us like 3 seconds.
No brainer.
To decide that The Witcher 3 was number 1 of that year. But compared to every other game of the decade though, that was tough, but it's well deserved.
The whole list was really tough, and all these games deserve to be just loved and played and experienced by everybody.
And we can't put them all number 1, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
I'd love to, but we just can't.
But you should definitely play The Witcher if you haven't. And before the comments start burning, we should probably say that we hope you enjoyed the video. We hope it's not too contentious. We really tried to do the research and get a really opinionated and educated look at what games we enjoyed. And
with as many different opinions
with as many different opinions as possible. So guys, thank you for checking in on the list. You want to say goodbye?
Yep, bye. So we're off now before the bombs start dropping. Let's go.
Until the next decade. For more gaming videos, check out our spin-off channel, Mojo Plays, for in-depth reviews, thoughtful video essays, detailed origins, and insightful commentary. Mojo Plays.